We joke around that this is like the $10,000 cup of coffee right now, but as we scale our production, we'll see our costs drop pretty dramatically, in which we should be able to make coffee that is great tasting, that is actually cheaper to produce than coffee today.
Back before the pandemic, Dana introduced us to the startup Atomo to show us about the science of coffee. The company began developing beanless coffee as a way to offset the environmental impact of growing coffee beans. 4 years later, Atomo continues to refine its product, and as Ling Kent shows us, this beanless brew could be coming to a cup near you.
In the heart of America's coffee capital, this 30-person startup is brewing up a radical new approach to your morning joe.
There has to be a better way to get coffee. We have to be able to make coffee without destroying our planet.
Atomo was founded here in Seattle by CEO Andy Kleitsch in 2019. He says our daily coffee ritual has devastating consequences for the environment.
Most people who drink coffee drink 2 cups a day, right? And if you're drinking 2 cups of coffee a day, it actually takes 20 coffee trees to support you for the year. So out there in the Amazon, there are 20 coffee trees just for you. So imagine that across New York City, like how many coffee trees there has to be to supply that entire city. It's kind of mind-boggling.
U.S. consumers shelled out nearly $110 billion on coffee last year. That's about $300 million every single day. As coffee demand grows, Kleitsch says it comes at the expense of virgin forests in places like Peru and Vietnam.
So what we are trying to achieve here is a way to supply the coffee that we all need every morning, but without causing any further harm, without causing any further deforestation. And what we found is by using upcycled ingredients, we can replicate exactly the coffee that you drink today without causing any of the environmental harm.
Instead of coffee beans, Atomo's espresso consists of ingredients most people would not associate with your daily cup. Date pits, millet, fenugreek seed, and sunflower extract, mixed with caffeine from green tea leaves.
How did you arrive at this recipe?
Yeah, when we first said, can we make coffee without using coffee beans? We really said, we should use ingredients that cause no harm. And we should try to find ingredients that are typically thrown away or just not utilized. And could we make coffee without causing any deforestation? So come on in. All right, this is our application lab. So this is a kind of a real intense extract. As we end up soaking them in a solution. Think of it like marinating a steak.
Atomo's replacement coffee could be a solution for an industry facing an existential threat.
So large coffee companies have come to us and said that they see a looming problem by 2050 where there will be a shortage of coffee. Our goal is to enable coffee companies around the world to deliver a great coffee experience without using coffee beans.
Kleitsch says that Atomo's formula is not only better for the coffee industry and the environment, it's also better for us.
We're using, fruits. We're using actual ingredients that have been proven to have health benefits and positive health impacts.
He also claims that Atomo has improved upon the caffeine jolts that you're used to getting.
How is it really different?
Right. So the caffeine that we use takes longer for your body to really absorb. And so that creates a longer period of heightening and then a slower decline as well.
Inside the lab, the moment of truth.
It's a Atomo latte with oat milk. Enjoy.
Cheers. It tastes like coffee. Yeah, it's like a nice, nutty, creamy flavor.
But how does Atomo measure up against Seattle's finest? Across town, we met up with Sam Spillman. She's the 2019 U.S. Barista Champion and a coffee industry veteran.
I think it's like coffee in disguise almost.
We did a taste test pitting Atomo against Spillman's own Cafe Vita blend.
Okay.
Atomo espresso.
Atomo espresso. Let's
Cheers.
try it. The taste, it's like chocolatey. You get some like graham cracker in there, some kind of acidity notes like a tart cherry, but it's not coffee. It's just a different thing.
Could it become that?
I could see this becoming more like coffee.
It might not be ready to replace Cafe Vita's own gourmet coffee just yet, but it could be a viable alternative to big chain brands or to that bag of beans you're picking up at the grocery store.
If you were to rate this latte 1 to 10,
I think like 6.5 to 8, depending on the milk that's being served with it. Oh my gosh.
This is more coffee than I would drink in a week.
But Atomo has a long road ahead. The company can only make 5 pounds of coffee a week in the lab.
We're early days, yeah, which means we can only supply one coffee shop with enough coffee for 5 hours of business.
But thanks to $40 million of venture capital funding and a new factory, which they're going to call the roastery, they're poised to significantly ramp up production.
By April of next year, we'll be able to provide thousands of coffee shops with enough coffee for every day. And then about 2 years after that, we should be able to supply 1 billion cups of coffee.
Those billion cups representing untold acres of forests that would otherwise be chopped down for our morning coffee fix. And according to Kleitsch, that's the real win.
So for us to be successful, we have to make a difference in the world. That's my goal.
Atomo is on a path to disruption, and if the company can scale up, it has grounds for real success. For CBS Saturday Morning, I'm Ling Kent in Seattle.
So in 4 years since we had gone there, they've gone from just cold brew to now having this. Nice. And I think the interesting thing is coffee is a taste thing. So it may not taste like the coffee you know, but that may bring in people that didn't like the way we know coffee nowadays, too.
Maybe you could put Atomo in one of the 4 mugs every day.
With that added caffeine.
There's a wide selection of different beverages.
Yeah, well, I hope that maybe it can be a switch out. Some of the ingredients that they use will help to sustain some of the farms that do produce coffee because they really rely on it.
Yeah, all good, all good.